Hey, man, thank you so very much for hanging out with us tonight. Hey, this is the Stream Show. And if you can tell, I have my guest up. Am I going the right direction? This direction? No, it's this direction. Anyways, I could never get that right. James Hicks, man, how are you doing?
Come on, man. We here, right? We on the stream, so
Yes, we are here, and I think it's a great night. It took us a minute to get here together, so I want to personally say that
I
I
love it, man. Listen,
apologize for not having you on the show earlier. Like that is me, man. I should really do better. All right, but thank you for taking the time and saying yes when I reached out, so we could
well,
do our thing. Huh?
I, yeah, I'm glad you recording that too. I'm glad.
Yeah, I recorded. I'm saying it. You getting it from me. Strick has apologized for not having you on earlier. Man, you are absolutely doing your thing right now when it comes to content. Let's just talk about the many shows that you have. Like I know Team No Sleep. That's behind you. Tell me some of the shows you have because I don't have them all written down.
My goodness. I got a handful, brother. I got a handful. Listen, and that's a blessing, and I'm in love loving that fact. Each session that I have on the channel, and from a content creation perspective, has a different focus, has a different purpose. So, the digital collective is locked in on enterprise technology and consumer technology, and kind of breaking down some of the stigma and some of the learning around that.
I like that.
Perspectives and focus is locked in on business, content creation, entrepreneurship,
Great
tools,
name.
tips, and things of that nature. So come on now, I got some of these things trademarked. I don't want to
That's what's
see.
up. That's what's up.
I don't want to see you snatching these now. So that's
Hey, I'll
perspectives and
make a note. I
focus.
could change it up and change the whole color scheme.
Yeah, that's it. Change the branding, and then I'll let you have it. And then Team No Sleep really is the social impact of sport. So we get into me and my co-host Montel Allen talk about the those awkward conversations around either mental health, mental awareness, domestic violence, a lot of things that occur within the sporting world that then can
Okay.
translate to individual as well. Because a lot of times our youth are always looking up to these athletes and saying, "I want to be like the LeBrons
Right.
and the Stephs and things like that." But when we find out that they are going through similar types of situations that other of us have as well, then it's more relatable. Again, it's a
I get
lot
it.
of awkward conversations, but it's conversations above the noise that we need to have within society. And it's a really good session that I'll be having out there.
I like that. I like that. Well, let's holler at some people, man. Kimberly G says hello. She's always hanging out with us on the
Love it.
street. So definitely. And man, I gotta have this guy on the show too. Tech Troublemaker, man, is really cool guy. So he's
It's
saying
good,
James
man.
Hicks is in the house, and I did have Mr. Camera Junkie on, and man, this dude is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to cameras. I say that he does a lot of stuff, but really cool guy. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Tori's Brain says hello. And there he is. You know what I'm saying? Retail Leadership with Steve Worthy. Hey, man, thank you for hanging out with us. Jamie has like 30. Yes, he does have like 30 shows. And we might as well call him the Tyler Perry of live streaming. Why
Come
not,
on
right?
now. Hey, I already told you I'm still drinking this coffee here at 4 o'clock my time. So I got some editing to do this evening. We gonna be up. We gonna be.
You said this
Hold
evening.
on.
I'm 2 hours ahead of you. That's
I
right. I
know
forget about that.
you ahead of me. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention about conscious conversations as well, because you were
Yes.
just tuned in the other day, and right now that's something that me and KP are doing, Keith Pelzer,
Okay.
and it really is no script, no running show. We get on every 2 weeks on Thursday evenings and talk about something. And there always ends up being, just by the grace of God, there always ends up being a message and some value that folks can get out of that. So conscious creations is also another session
And
that I'm
Keith is
running.
my boy, man. Like I
Yeah,
love
good
Keith
folks.
Pelzer, man. Really good guy. And I'm gonna be up there soon. So hopefully I get a chance to run into him. What am I missing? I hadn't had a chance to shout out Richard. Richard, where'd you go? Richard is here. So
Mr. Sarkeesian.
Yeah, I want to say hello to you, sir. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. If you guys are in to check in with us, if James said, I'm not going to say much tonight. I'm just asking the questions. But if James says something incredible tonight, if he makes you think tonight, if he gives valuable information, do us a favor, hit the like button. Let us know that you do appreciate the wisdom that comes from James Hicks tonight. That being said, we talked about the shows. We talked about the people that you work with, like Keith Pelzer. How did you get started into all of this? That's what I want to know. Like, were you a part of the Let's Get Live community and all of that? How did you find Ecamm?
Okay, so that's two separate questions.
That is two
And
separate
that's
questions
two.
at
See,
one. I'm giving you all of that.
and I'm gonna take all your time tonight because I'm gonna answer
Come
them
on, let's
both.
do
Right.
it.
So I started the creation, sharing stories journey. I started Hicks New Media a little over 10 years ago. And that was mainly with text. That was mainly with blogging. So I've been huge in the WordPress community. Me and Matt Mullenweg, the kind of the founder of the whole WordPress project, kind of go back for a long time. So I'm doing that for a while, telling stories through text and having.
Hold on now. Don't go too fast with this, James.
Come
You
on,
just
catch
threw
up,
something
brother.
out here that, so
Oh
part
man.
of the whole WordPress, like the website WordPress,
Yes. Yeah.
so
What
what
a
part
high
were you
percentage
playing
of
with
the.
that?
So I've been part of contributing to core, which is contributing to the development of the actual back end of WordPress. So I've done that a few times before I had gray hair. So back in the years, and Matt Mullenweg, again, kind of the founder and kind of the CEO chairman of the Automatic community, which is what WordPress is a part of. He and I are really good friends as well. So
That's
that's where
awesome.
I started. Yeah, it's good to know. Living here in Silicon Valley, right? So just being an hour out of San Francisco, I get to go to Facebook and Google and Hewlett Packard, and I get to be around a lot of those cool cats on a frequent basis and just soak up that knowledge from them and be in those conference rooms or be in those sessions where they're talking about the next big maybe thing. So I've
Right.
just been fortunate enough to be involved with some really cool people.
So what is that? HTML? Is that coding? It,
It's after HTML. So think back again, maybe some of the younger cats will remember this before the Dreamweaver days,
uh-huh.
before no, or actually after Dreamweaver and all of that stuff, where it was all text based and it was all what you see is what you get, kind of the WYSIWYG format of you can actually bring in objects, you can bring in audio, you can bring in video, you can bring in all the components of a newspaper of a magazine and put that into a digital format, which is what WordPress really is, right? A digital online representation of whatever you're trying to say.
Right.
And WordPress really was the beginning of what now Wix and what now Squarespace and what now some of those other platforms are providing. WordPress really is the main one, and a good portion of the internet today still runs off of WordPress.
I did not know that. Well, I knew
Boom!
that.
There we
I
go.
knew
There
a
goes
lot
some
of
value
it
right there.
today. So I'm one of those kind of people that came towards the end of all of that. So I'm a Wix guy. But every time I see a great website, it's usually a WordPress website, and I was like, I gotta get into this WordPress world. But Wix just makes it so simple for me.
Right.
I do the template man and keep it moving.
Nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So that now, right, there's no excuse. Back in the day when we were coding in HTML and we were writing all of the CSS and we were doing all those administrative things behind the scenes, it was a little prohibitive for folks
Right.
who had an idea, who had a desire to share stories online, because you had to learn all of that technology piece. Now with the Wix, now with the Squarespace, now with the WordPress, everyone can spend. There's no excuse
It's
for
no
not
excuse.
turning up an instance of your own blog, djstrick.org. You got that domain yet?
Not .org.com. So
Man,
it's Strick
okay.
City,
There it
strickcity.com.
is.
But I get it. Equip Institute saying hey to both of us. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Listen,
What's up,
I
Flo?
could go down that world with you because I didn't know. Like it is so very cool. And here's my man Dan saying hello to everybody. It's really cool for you to have that experience. And then where you are, that's a whole part of that Silicon Valley world.
Yeah.
What is another notable project that you worked on?
A notable project that I worked on back in my enterprise technology days with Hewlett. So I gave Hewlett Packard 20 years of my life.
Okay.
and I spun up part of me and my team spun up what is was then HP.com. It was
Okay.
considered it was called a service guard cluster. So there was components of HP.com, kind of a failover situation that was in Silicon Valley, in Palo Alto, and another piece of that cluster was in Atlanta, Georgia, within our data center there. So I helped put in the infrastructure, code all of the intelligence that should San Francisco fall into the ocean like everyone thinks it's going to happen one of these days. Should San
Right. Right.
Francisco fall
Right.
into the ocean, HP.com could fail over to the instance that was running in Atlanta, Georgia. So that's a claim to, it's not a claim to fame. It's something kind of large scale that I think a lot of folks would probably know about. And I know Tech Troublemaker, I know Roy would understand when I start talking about service guard clusters and HPUX and kind of those larger coding and infrastructure pieces on the enterprise side.
That's cool because it does go over my head, but it's good to hear you talk about it. Even the Dealcasters is chiming in with us tonight. Great to have you guys with us. I think it's really cool to hear this part of your history and now to have you in our community. So, how did you find Ecamm?
Mm. Yeah, listen, this whole Ecamm thing is the truth too, folks. So from the consumer side and from personally telling stories around video. So I switched to video and audio podcasting. If there was any blessing of COVID, I always say was the fact that I got a chance to pause and figure out what I wanted to do for me, for my new community at the particular time. I was looking at other platforms. I was using some other platforms. They served purpose, but they didn't serve the entire goal. Ecamm allowed me to both serve the goal and serve the purpose by being flexible and expandable in terms of allowing me to turn these lights on, press record, do all the things, and bring in all the elements that makes a higher quality session than a lot of the other noise that's out there.
Gotcha.
I'm not throwing shade at anybody else, but I'm saying again, a lot of the folks in the Ecamm community are about that life. We about bringing value. We about rising above the noise and doing something completely different and that is completely uh, on brand with us. And I wanted to
Right.
do that. I didn't want my show to look like somebody else's that was on X, Y, and Z platform and things of that nature. I wanted to
Right.
completely brand, completely scale and pan and tilt and zoom and
Right.
lower
Right.
third
Right.
and do all those things, right? And Ecamm really was and probably still is the only platform that I saw that allowed me to do that. So I hooked up with the community online and I saw the concern. I saw the real desire to help. Right, there wasn't no big eyes within the community at all. Everyone was saying, "Hey, try this. Let's work together. If you need some help, call me," and that kind of thing. And that community around a platform
Right.
that's very different,
It
right? So
is
that's
very
really what
different.
that. So the community was what brought me into the platform even before I learned how to use it myself. To be honest with you, because I figured if all these people were saying I use this. I love this. The people around here are willing to help. There was some value in that right there. So I really took the onus to learn it myself.
And we're getting people like on a daily basis chiming into community, asking questions like maybe, simple questions for us, but it means they're new to the whole setup. So if you're watching tonight, do me a favor. Tell me how long you've been with Ecamm. Just tell me like a year, 2 years. Just put it in the comments and we'll definitely mention it in what we're doing here today. Ecamm does allow us to focus on our message and bring quality. So let me ask you this question, because if
Yeah.
you were searching, like we all have the same thing that we search for, Ecamm fam is where it's at. Did you see something like the free software that was out there, browser-based software, and say, I
You
don't
ain't gonna
want to
make
look
me.
like
You
that?
don't make me mention nobody name. Don't
I
put
know.
me
I'm
out
not
front.
saying. I said free
I'll say some
browser-based
names if you
service.
want to.
No,
Now
no, you don't have to say any name. You don't have to say any name. I had some friends that, and this is what I feel like makes what we do different. Okay, all of us are Mac users. All right, so if you're a
yeah,
Mac user, I think there's some personalities, there's some things that make you different, right?
yeah, yeah.
And when someone says, "Oh, there's a free software, you can do this," and you look at the free software and it's not where it's at, forget what it costs. Like, Literally people, literally Ecamm was rival to free software, and people
True.
were still buying it,
So
still buying it.
again, you come in with a whole lot of stuff to unpack. Well, it's like you interviewed before. You're like, so
Just one or two things that people are, Richard is saying
yeah,
3 years. Tori's got 2 years. We got an 8-month today, Equipment Institute. Like,
I
we
love
need
it.
to
I love
really
it.
help her out with that. Let me see here. Who else we got? Somebody else chimed in. Ecamm makes it so much easier for broadcast quality productions, for the functions and cause. Amazing community, 3+ years. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. It is all of that and more. And we can rant about Ecamm
yeah.
because it has really taken us, for me personally. So I'm a radio guy, right? And I know how to do all of the buttons, but I
Hmm.
didn't know video. I didn't know video. And what we are able to do streaming right now, if the quality is right, depending on where you are, you may even be seeing this stream in 4K.
Come on now, put it on that
So
TV.
that's
Hit
something.
the
Yeah.
enter.
Oh, hold on. Let me
I
see
know.
if I
I know
can
you
even.
got that 65-inch TV right behind you. Go ahead and put us on it.
This
Let
other
me
was
make sure.
right here, so
Let me
you
make
might
sure the
not be
hat is
seeing
right.
the
There we
quality
go.
just as good, but that is the live stream coming in here. And let me tell you something, Ecamm provides you the ability to do that. Now, there's a lot of other streaming services out there. Of course, there's very few that's going to allow you to do 4K streaming
Yeah.
and not
Let
pay
me
a
let me
whole
let me
bunch of money for it.
yeah, let me piggyback on that for a quick second. Again, man, you've seen me before. I talk.
Come on, we're here to talk.
So Ecamm just being a Mac platform just resonated with me as well. I'm not sure if you knew
Same,
or know,
same.
but I worked for Apple for 10 years.
I didn't know
Right.
that.
So yeah, so I had actually in my career, I had one of those infamous one-on-ones with Steve Jobs as well. Right. So I don't know if you've heard this kind of the folklore within Apple. If you're in an elevator with Steve, he pushes a button. By the time he'll ask you what you do for the job for the company, and if he doesn't like what you say, you could theoretically be out of a job. I didn't
Wow,
get fired, but again, I had a one-on-one with Steve Jobs at Infinite Loop one time, and from then I've been a part of the cult of Mac for sure. Uh,
wow.
so I want to set that as precedence. But you talk about the price, and I think Roy talk about at a value as well. I have coined a statement in the last couple of years that people pay attention to what they pay for.
That's true.
I know you talked about okay, you talk about OBS, you talk about a free platform, right? And yeah, it does a lot of cool stuff, and it's run and generated by the OBS community, and there's nothing wrong with that. But again, man, if you're going to raise above the noise, if you're going to build your own thing, you want to have something that you actually are invested in yourself. And if you're going to invest your hard-earned dollars into a platform like Ecamm, you're going to expect it to continue to evolve, continue to get better, continue to grow, and continue to add new features and functionality. Ken and Glenn do that every single week,
Right.
right? So the whatever it is that folks pay for Ecamm, whatever it is that we pay, that is really an investment as opposed to an expense. If again you are out here building content, utilizing that platform, so people pay attention to what they pay for.
That is so true. And I say this all the time. It took me a minute to understand the business part of being a content creator. But every dime that you invest in yourself to do
Yeah,
content creation is a tax write off, man. That's all it
that's true.
is. It's an easy tax write off. If you're a
we, we,
business
we, we
person,
we can talk
you
LLC
want
with
to,
too.
yeah, if you want to, like whatever you want to buy, like it's just going towards the business to make it happen. So, Ecamm for the win. And yeah, you definitely pay attention to what you pay for. And
You gonna put
Ecamm.
that on the shirt, aren't you? Too. You gonna take all my
I
little
haven't,
sayings.
I say I'm gonna do a whole bunch of t-shirts, but I never do. You can have it. I'm
No,
still wearing the classic stream show t-shirt. Like this is the first one we ever
it's
did.
all
I'm
good.
still doing it, man.
It's all good.
So I want to put this one up because I think it's good too. Andrews here is Ecamm brings the only dedicated streaming software for Macs. This is a huge benefit. Dedicated software for hardware absolutely win. And the reason
Hmm.
why that is is that when I've heard this, and I may have heard it from Doc and some other people, but basically when people are building software, and I'm saying this to you, you could easily tell me this. If they're trying to do both,
Yeah.
you have to, okay, I build it for Macs and then or iOS, and then I have to build it for the Android platform. What's that called? Is
What
it
the
the
Google?
Android platform or
Yeah,
Google? I
yeah.
don't know what they call it. You know,
But think
like
about that. Think about that. Software developers for a long time only built or first built for iOS.
right,
There's a lot of Android users out there. True, there are a ton of, there's probably more physical Google Android devices out there that are activated. But there is kind of a air about having an iPhone. Every single iPhone that's out there is running is on the most current version of the software, as opposed to the kind of stagnated and staggered release cycles on various Android devices. So there's reasoning behind that as well, and it's much more um, effective for a developer to write for a specific platform and lock in on that particular community and grow that community, as opposed to trying to boil the ocean and do all the things. Bring
right.
that into the content creation world. Build your community where you are and where they are, as opposed to trying to be on all the things. You can't be on the TikToks and the Facebooks and the Snapchat. You can't be every single place that you think 2 or 3 or 4 people are. If you're
That's
trying to
right.
build a community in one location, see how I did that? See how I brought that back?
I get it. I get it. I get it. So you're telling
Okay.
me you're not dancing on TikTok?
I'm not dancing on TikTok, brother.
Okay, I get it. I
I
get
watch it
it.
for 10 minutes a day for some quick entertainment, and I push out some things, but no, I don't mess with it too much, man.
Hey, listen, I've learned a lot on TikTok. I really have. There's some great content creators that are doing some amazing work that I glean from. I've
Yeah.
learned a lot about like all the different type of apps that's out there in my feed. I see them all the time. But I was just making sure there's not a James Hicks TikTok channel where you're doing the latest dances. I just wanted to
No,
be sure
I'm
to
not out
ask
there
that
dancing.
question.
I'm not. I'm only cutting up some viral content, putting it out there. But
I
again,
get it.
just because that's not my community and that's not where I choose to resonate. But for a lot of other folks, it really is, and they're seeing value, and more kudos to them. Keep going.
I know it, right? But there's a lot that's happening. So let's talk for a few
Yeah.
minutes as we get into some of this tech stuff. Since man, you have such a huge background in this. So new creator tech. All right, tell me like some of the things that's happening out there that content creators should be aware of when we're talking about new tech.
Workflow management,
Okay.
uh, productivity management, time blocking, things of that, right? So getting out of the conversation of the infrastructure, getting out of the conversation of microphones, audio interfaces, cameras, and lights, because every company that makes video lights makes good video lights, regardless, right? So let's just set that precedence right there, and let's be generalistic. There may be some folks that are going to disagree with me, but again, companies that make video lights, the Godoxes, the Nan lights, the Nevers, all those folks, if you make a video light, the video lights are good. Cameras, many of us are Sony folks, and we're gonna be biased to that. But again, Sony is good, Canon's good, right? Folks that do those kind of things are good, and that technology just continues to evolve. But what's new and what's coming up specifically for content creators is this utilization of artificial intelligence. I know
Okay.
everyone's hearing about it, right?
Right.
But what the funny thing is, those of us that are in enterprise technology have been talking about AI for a long time.
Okay.
It's now just coming around because it's on these TVs here. It's on the CNBCs of the world. It's on the CNNs of the world. And now you're starting to hear about not just AI, but you're talking about generative AI as well, where you can actually utilize these capabilities and these functions to do a specific thing and to do a certain task, not only to take over a role, right? When you think about artificial intelligence from the past, it was actually to uh, do a workflow faster, be more efficient, be more cost effective, and things of that.
Right.
From a content creation perspective, we're talking about generative AI. So think about this 60-minute session that we're recording right now. As soon as we turn it off, we feed it into a generative AI platform and it cuts it up for us. It does auto framing, it does all of the captions, it does all of that stuff, all of those workflow management pieces automagically. That's where we're
I
seeing a
like
lot
that.
of
I
that's where
like
we're
that.
seeing a lot of the benefit of using generative AI, because again, we don't get time back. But if we can find a way to be more effective in utilizing our time in something like a generative AI platform, that's the next big thing. Unfortunately, and there is an unfortunate thing, there's so many that are coming to market and coming to bear right now that it can be confusing.
All right. Well,
My
help us out a little bit about that, because this
yeah.
is the first time I've heard. I mean, you're saying AI, but now you're saying generative AI. Can you explain the difference there a little bit for me?
Yeah. So again, AI, think about the robots are going to take over, that kind
Right.
of thing, right?
Right.
I'm old as well. So anyone who remembers the movie War Games, uh,
Uh huh.
when Whopper was playing chess and was finding the best outcome for having World War III, and come to find out that, yeah, there's no good solution. The best solution is just to not to have this particular war.
Right.
So where the robots take over, that's the AI thing. And
The Matrix. Let's do that too. Throw
there you
that
go.
on in
See,
there.
again, I'm 53 years old, man. I forgot who we talking to sometimes. And even some of the things that, again, here in Silicon Valley, someone like an Elon Musk is doing by building neural links and building the Optimus, the robots and things like that, to actually take over assembly line tasks, right? So again, to workflow pieces in terms of streamlining manual activities, cost saving types of measures. Uh, AI can actually also learn. So how could I do what I do today, and it takes X amount of time? If I learn from a model, and then it only takes me a short amount of time, then I can save funds, I can save resources, things of that nature. That's
You see
artificial
that
intelligence.
little comment right there. Skylink is alive.
Sky is the truth, right?
It is the
So
truth, brother.
it's
It
the
is the
truth, man.
truth.
Right?
So as we're getting into this, how do a content
Currents out how I
creator?
threw that at currents out how I threw that automatically in there.
Yeah, there you go. Let me put that up there. Um, how do we, as new content creators, and when we're talking about tech, use AI to help us in our workflow? Because I believe you me, like anything now, a new tool that's going to help me save time,
Hmm.
that's going to do something that could, I don't care if it's an hour worth of time. I don't have an hour worth of time now to edit videos. And now I don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to spend an hour worth of time doing that. Can we kind of break down some of the tools that could help us when it comes to us? If you're saying, hey, guys, you just go get a camera, just get some lights. There's some great lights out there. If you go look, everybody's going to have some great lights. Make sure that it could do up to 56 Kelvin or something like that, 5600 Kelvin. I mean, you're
Yeah.
gonna get
Yeah.
some lights. The cameras out there you really can't miss right now. Let me be honest, these are some of the things that you said, that there's great cameras out there, but
Right.
what's really going to help content creators is finding out how to use AI to handle their workflow, because
Yeah.
160-minute show actually could be tons of what they call micro content that you could put out there,
Yep.
but not if you have to, pull up Premiere Pro and cut it all up yourself. It's going to be difficult to do that.
Yeah.
So
Now,
help walk through
so
that for me.
yeah, so along those lines, right? There's value also in learning those tools. There's value in understanding and knowing about Premiere or Final Cut Pro or DaVinci Resolve, learning all of those things as well. I mean, that really just makes you more of a well-rounded individual. That makes you more of a subject matter expert when someone starts asking you about content creation and the journey and the evolution, things of that nature. So don't shy away from learning those tools, and don't look at generative AI as an easy way out, as the easy button and as a cop out. But look at generative AI as, again, as a way of streamlining your workflow and allowing you to be more strategic in what it is that you are eventually trying to do. First question to ask yourself as a creator is, who am I trying to reach? And what is it that I'm trying to say to those
Okay.
people that I'm reaching, right? Because it's not about the infrastructure, it's not about the platform, it's not about the software and the hardware. lock in on that content first. Make sure that you're creating content that resonates with you and your community first. Get that dialed. Get your mic presence, get your camera presence, get all that stuff dialed down. And then after you do that 60-minute session, and then you have it saved on your Mac, or you have it saved on your drive, or whatever the case may be, and you funnel it into something like a Descript. I know Descript is talked about a lot within the Ecamm community. So, I mean, that's huge in terms of what you can do with that,
Right.
chopping up the long form content, turning it into audiograms, and turning it into audio podcasts, and correcting wrong words using the overdub capability, right? So Descript is huge. I use a couple of platforms for the video side of bringing in captions and bringing in auto framing and doing.
Spill the beans, sir. We want to hear what you're using.
I use captions on the iPhone. The Captions app does that because I can either import content or I can create content. I can use it as a teleprompter, and I can have a script, and I can have that automatically do what it does. And
I
then
didn't know that it could be used as a teleprompter as well.
Yeah,
That's
brother.
pretty cool.
Listen, man, make sure you update it, man. Update the software, man. It's bad to listen. Come on.
Listen. I don't use teleprompters, man. I'd have to speak from my heart, but I get it. For people that do, like, that's a captions.
Yeah.
I use captions to be able to caption my short form. But go ahead. That's good stuff.
So check out Captions, and it may. I think it's only premium package as well. I don't know if Captions is free out there, but Captions.
Come on,
Big
man.
View,
You know what happened. You said you saw Captions. You used it. And they said, "How much is it?" You said, "I'll pay for the year. No worries." I already know you paid for the whole year. Okay,
it's written all over my face. Like
Yes,
the
sir.
song said. But speaking of caption, there's another tool called Big VU, which does very similar. Right, it allows you to have a script, look at your phone or look at your laptop or whatever, and actually record content. But I also use Opus Pro. Opus Pro is the truth, y'all.
I agree.
I can take a 60-minute session from YouTube, feed it into Opus. It'll actually create at least 10 pieces of micro content that are actually scored based on, they call it a virality score, right? Based on this message or this particular portion of this session will resonate with a audience. So it'll grab it. Even if it's 16 by 9, it will actually auto frame it to whereas I'm above Strick and Strick's below me, that kind of thing. I can put my captions in as well and do whatever type of formatting with it. I can then export that into something like a CapCut or even the Instagram official app or the YouTube mobile app, and then add my music to it, things of that nature. But at the core, I'm using, like I said, Opus Pro and Captions to create micro content very quickly every time I run a session. So literally within 12 hours, I'm able to put out, if I wanted to, 5 to 10 pieces of content. But I don't do that for each session because I don't want to flood the market with a whole bunch of clips and highlights just from one particular session. So,
hey, I love it, and you have to do that. I use the same two apps, man. It's what's going on right now. So yes, Opus Clip is fire. I utilize it for my clients. I'm telling you, it just makes a difference. It does help. But my man Chris Stone is hanging out with us today. Chris Stone, dude, thanks for hanging out. Now anyone can edit a video now. You really can using Opus, right? You could do that. But not everyone can edit the video well. AI gets you to third base. You still have to take it home. So you want to definitely be
Dr. Stone.
Yeah. So he says that if you see his shorts, man, I don't know who's editing his stuff, man. But I'll take all my money.
Look, Dr. Stone a bad man. He a bad
all
man.
of my money. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I like it. This is one of the things that I like about Opus Pro. Does it best if you have your video knowing you would chop it up later. Yes, it does very, very well. So what I found out with this, so the first time I used it, I was like, this is not going to work. It didn't give me anything. I came back 2 weeks later. All right. In just 2 weeks, they had advanced their processing and that AI to where
Yeah.
I had 10 videos and I was able to use 5 of them. So
Very
5 didn't
cool.
have the score that I needed, nor was it cut the way I wanted it cut. So
Yeah.
when people, I found this out a lot, James. When people talk about tech, they never tell you the reality of the tech. You know, the reality of the tech, if I'm still able to get 5 videos that is done well, that represents me well, that's all I need. It gave me 10 and I couldn't use 5 of them, but you know how much
That's
time that saved me?
right. That's 4 more than you had before. Right, you had the one, but now you've got, again, like Chris Stone is saying, you've got it to third base. Now add in your own elements to it. Let the platform, let the workflow uh, make you effective. Like I said, make you more strategic as opposed to tactical. So to get you, and then like Stone was saying, get you to third base, but then you add in that extra flair, you add in that personality, you add in that music, you do whatever that extra thing is that makes it more you,
Right,
then push that out, as opposed to, again, just having 160-minute stream that you do once a week, and your community is hungry for more from you.
yeah,
They really are.
exactly.
Your community wants you to do the shorts and the reels and the stories and all those things. So take advantage. Don't be intimidated by it. Learn it, take
Right.
advantage, and use all of these tools that are coming to fruition and coming to market today. It's continuing to evolve. I will say that there is a website that I use, and you mentioned Doc. I mean, Doc uses this as well too. It's called futuretools.io.
Okay.
Futuretools.io actually has a kind of a drop down click through checkbox where you can say, I want to find artificial intelligent tools that allow me to do generative AI, that allow me to do video editing, that allow me to do image scanning, productivity, and things like that. I'm looking over here because I'm literally looking at it right now, and I can check the specific want, need, or task that I'm trying to do, and it's an ever evolving list. It's a living document of the new tools that are coming out there in the marketplace right there. So if I'm looking at something to do video editing, self improvement, social media, copywriting, all the things, that is one good hub for a lot of the latest AI tools that are coming to the marketplace today. Yeah, so
I did not know that.
futuretools.io.
Future
There goes some more
tools
value,
dot
boy. Where the
I
music at? Drop us something on these
listen.
fools.
I hold on. Let me see if I can do
Drop
something for
something
you
on
because
these people, man.
I don't even use music like this. But
Oh man, hold on.
it's the
Man.
Ecamm one. You know.
Okay.
There you go. I gave you some claps, brother. That means a lot. That's really cool that you would share that information with us because I want to say this young lady's been giving us a ton of notes tonight too. The tools are awesome. Understanding your workflow is the accelerator.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, Flo. Listen, Flo, Equipped Institute. Check her out. Flo's been out here working. Right. She learned Ecamm, and I know she's been working with another member in the community, Mr. Walter Strong.
Okay,
I'm just throwing all your business out there, Flo. I know, but she's out there
that's
working on
awesome.
overlays, working on transitions, building a community, having shows, and having a presence online. And this conversation I'm having about her right now, again, this is the Ecamm community. We're talking and always prepping up each other and looking for positivity, giving feedback, giving criticism where necessary, but always propping people up to keep doing the thing, right? Don't stop. And what
Right.
she's doing is incredible. So yeah, definitely check her channel out too.
So let's help this guy out really quick. I hate AI, but I trust and respect James so much I have to listen. So yeah, and this is also true. He looks better at 55 than I did at 25. I feel the same. I feel the same. I feel the same. So when it comes to new technology and the
Yeah.
whole idea of this show today is for us to talk about from a content creator standpoint, like there are new tools and we're talking workflow is the new tool because a lot of us have already talked about the camera. I had the camera junkie on. Watch that show if you want to learn about cameras. Now, let's help you with one of the things that stops everybody in their tracks, which is the workflow. And
Yeah.
using AI in your workflow will help you. Okay. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. It is not perfect. You cannot ask ChatGPT to write your script and all of that and not read it and use it, because some of the stuff that comes out may not be true. So you're going to have to know some of the stuff that you're talking about, but you can use it to add filler to what you're
Yeah.
doing. Okay, you can use it to add filler around your knowledge to kind of help you just, take 300 words to 700 words. It is possible to do that. That being said, embracing the new technology will keep you ahead of the curve. This is something that I heard from, I guess it was Doc. All of us, I know for me, I like to
Hmm.
use my software, and that's all I want to do. Just use what I've been using. It's been working for me. But learning how to be an early adopter as a content creator will keep you
Yeah.
ahead of the curve. Okay.
So think about that as well, right? And if you have in your email signature and you consider yourself to be a trusted advisor, subject matter expert, and or a coach, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your potential clients to be aware of what's coming, right? You owe it to yourself to try these other platforms that are coming out and not being content and locked in on only using Premiere or Final Cut or DaVinci. Yeah, be proficient in those if that's what works for you. But again, if you're going to qualify and quantify yourself as someone who is a subject matter expert or someone who's a coach or someone who's going to help others as they come along the journey, if you don't know anything about the script or Opus or Fellow or Headliner.ai, and they start asking because they're seeing a Google ad or they're seeing something on Facebook that says, check out this other tool. And if you haven't at least done the research and become a generalist in your niche, I'm not paying you whatever you have your quoted rate as, because you're not taking onus on yourself to be present in learning, right? If you only learned how to use the Rodecaster and didn't read, acquire, listen, figure out what the Rodecaster 2 was all about, you
Right.
missed a lot. Because now we got Streamer, right? We got all these different types of components that are coming out. So now folks are saying, well, okay, the Rodecaster and the Rodecaster Pro 2 were cool, but we got Streamer
Jimmer
X's.
X. Yeah.
We got all this up. So tell me pros and cons and versus of those types of things. And if you haven't stayed on top of the learning yourself as a coach, content creator, as a subject matter expert, as a trusted advisor, you lose value. You lose value.
Because the value is in the knowledge.
Value is in
The,
knowledge, brother.
the,
All day,
the,
every day.
because I'm working with a group. I haven't really said much about the summer camp that I'm doing. Thank God, working with a nonprofit, and Fujifilm have come on with us, and one of the producers that's going to be teaching the classes is from Fujifilms.
Mm.
And we're going to be teaching the kids how to make films. And one of the standards that a lot of people are using, of course, is Premiere Pro, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as a content creator, that we're teaching kids. Kids could use CapCut, and I know we use CapCut for shorts, but it really could be used on a desktop for long form content as well. The transitions, the color grading, for free. Now it's not DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah.
But those skills will translate up to Premiere Pro, Final Cut, the way it's done. So, there's so many things out there for you to know about. So, I get it. It's kind of like both ways. Like, you want to know what some of the higher creators or even film companies are using, or what's the standard software that's out there. And then you want to know who's coming up with software that you could use to, again, make your workflow quicker. Because from Final Cut going on the iPad, which is huge.
Huge.
There was another that was already on iPads.
DaVinci Resolve.
DaVinci was on iPads. You know what it's like to be mobile and to not have to be at your best your big desk setup to edit, and you can go upstairs and hang out with the family. You could be on the train and actually editing video. You know
You've
how
seen me on the train
liberating
before
that
doing
is? Huh?
that. You've seen me on the train doing. I literally do that.
Listen,
Yeah,
you have to figure
yeah.
out like taking that time, using transit time. Okay, maybe in the past you were using it to catch up on your best audiobook, but now
Hmm.
you can finish a project right there while you're riding on the train and actually go home and engage with your family because you got that time back.
Don't be afraid of that technology, folks. A lot of the platforms that we've been using before had a lot of manual, a lot of long-winded types of means for accomplishing a goal. But we talked Final Cut, we've talked DaVinci, but Canva,
Oh yeah.
ClickUp, Notion, all of these tools, right? Again, that we've done and we've used for such a long period of time to do what it is that we do, from management, CRM, from planning, calendaring, things like that nature. They're all bringing in an AI capability, an AI function, and again, trying to streamline the administrative and those tactical pieces. So learn this technology. Don't be afraid of technology. Someone has said a statement that they hate AI, but learn to leverage the technology
Right.
to its most effective use for you.
That's
Don't
right.
try to boil the ocean. Don't try to learn it all, but learn how it's most effective for you and the messages that you're trying to push out there. And you will be successful. You, there's no reason for you not to be successful if you actually put a earnest effort into learning this stuff today.
Hey,
There's the
can I
call to
stop you?
action right there.
Can I stop you really quick?
Okay, shut me up there. Oh Lord.
No, no, no. That's not a shut up. It's just a stop. Because like
Okay.
one of
Oh,
my
hold on. Mary
very
Lou's in here. Hold on. Let me
favorite
sit up straight. Yeah.
creators in all the world, I
Let me
watch
sit up
all of her
straight.
stuff. She's got to come back on the show. Mary Lou Mandy, how are you doing? Thanks for coming, hang out with us tonight. I do appreciate it. James and I are just kind of talking about some of the new tech that content creators should be aware of, and of course, I learned a lot of the new. I actually figured out. No, not actually figured out. It was Mary
Yeah.
Lou who told me about CapCut when I had her
Yeah.
on the show, and
Yeah.
that was years ago. And it still keeps evolving. When CapCut got onto desktop, I started
Yeah.
using it even more. Like there's a lot of technology that a lot of us are using that we can really help each other. And Dan is still here talking about AI. He says, I've learned it. I know how it works. I still hate it. And I completely get it. I completely get it. It's
We
kind of
respect
like,
that, brother. We respect that. That's
yeah,
all
we
good. Yeah.
respect it. It's kind of
Yeah.
like one of those things that in the future, it's just the way it is going to be. And I don't like change either. And by it being so new, it's kind of like going to, and there was a couple of AI tools that you can just type in a word. So text to picture. Okay, I don't like that. It don't work
Hmm.
that well. Right now, it may not work that well. But you know what? I may not be writing the right prompts to get the picture that I'm looking for. So it
Yeah.
could easily be an operator error because I'm just trying to say, hey, I want a purple car with yellow tire. I want a purple car, but I really want a purple car with yellow tires. But I only said I wanted a purple car. Well, I didn't give it all of the information it needed to give me the right purple car. Does that
Yeah.
make
So
sense?
yeah, so that onus is on the individual to learn. Again, if you're going to invest in a platform, software, hardware, the case may be, the onus is on you to learn that. Don't just assume that it's going to work the way you want it or you think it's going to work. Maybe that tool didn't do the thing that you wanted to do because, again, the parameters that you typed in weren't accurate and didn't fit the correct model. So it's one of those RTFM. You got to read the manual.
You got yeah. You got to
Right.
read it.
It's just that simple, folks. Don't just go into something blindly and then say, "Oh, it didn't work, so I'm not going to use it. It's stupid. I'm gonna go do something else, or I'm always going to hire it out." There's nothing
Yes.
wrong with hiring out, but there's, again, like I said before, there's so much value in learning how to do for yourself. Because again, that way, if you are trying to position yourself as, again, that coach, that subject matter expert, and that trusted advisor, you know what in the world it is that you're talking about.
So I want to do this because I thought this was really cool in the comments. Adapt or get left behind was one of the comments.
Mm,
Um, Dan here, I'm going to get back to his. He said there's a growing confusion between AI and automation. Basically, if you learn how to automate your AI, you'll win it all the way around. Whatever works for you, as long as you aren't on the sideline watching, you will get left behind if you don't proficiently know how to use AI to do what you need to do. I promise you, there is, I want to say shortcuts to this, but you have to be smart about how you use everything that you're doing. And there
Yeah.
are so many things that we have to do as content creators. One or two of those things you have to let go. I don't like to deal with AI that eliminates certain human aspects of things. You want to always have a human aspect in it, because
Yes.
Google knows when AI wrote something, okay? And you want to be sure that Google
Yeah.
thinks you wrote it. And whenever Mandy Lou is talking, I'm listening. I told people the same thing when social media was taking off. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's not a thing. Won't make it go away. It is absolutely not going away. And
And that's a great point, right? Again, that's the thing that I think folks need to understand, that this ain't a fad, right?
no,
Again, and those of us that have been in enterprise technology, again, have been talking about artificial intelligence, have been talking about AR, VR, all of this stuff way before Meta made it popular, way before generative AI started coming into the consumer side. So this stuff is really still
yeah,
long-winded. And the trajectory is really a hockey stick. It's not
it
going to
is.
take off. It has
It
taken
has
off,
taken off. So there's
and it
a
has got
real revolution that's happened since the
huge,
pandemic.
huge.
So when we started going live inside of the pandemic, we didn't have a
Mhm.
lot of this technology that we can use. So on the back end, there's now new AI technology that is growing so rapidly. And that being said, like, you're even having some of the guys on your show from Opus. Tell me about the opportunity you get to be able to talk to these
Yeah,
people and interview them about their software.
yeah. I mean, it's a blessing, man. So I had Young and most of his engineering team actually. They drove up from San Francisco and they came to my home studio and we chopped it up for a few hours. And this was when they were still creating Opus Studio, right? Kind of their offshoot of a restream, of a StreamYard, that kind of thing. I don't even know if they're still doing that, but literally, I think 2 weeks after that, they pivoted and started doing Opus Pro, the generative AI platform and tool, to where again now you can take long form content and make it more user friendly and more distributable from a micro content perspective. So Young was going to be on this week coming up, but unfortunately he's sick. He's under the weather. I'm not going to say all his business is going right now, but we have rescheduled, and he's still going to come on, and we're going to talk about where they are today and where they're going. So they've already released pricing for early adopters to get in and to have priority access to the algorithm and to the processing for when you submit a video. It's worth. I'm not an affiliate. I'm just an advocate for the company, and I'm just saying, check out Opus Pro for what they're doing and take a look at the pricing model. And if you see value in that, being able to jump in front of the queue of all the other folks that are having videos processed, there's value in that as well. And there's a ton of other things that are coming out. Again, the auto framing, the auto captioning. Right now, you can share it to, I believe you can share it to YouTube Shorts, but coming is going to be IG Reels and in your TikTok channel as well. So all of that is coming. Again, streamlining that workflow. You've done all the work already, right? You've
Right.
had the content, you've had the great show, had the great engagement, you've done all of the things. Now, if you want to go through the manual action of doing the chopping it up and creating the micro content, doing all those things, you can do that as well. But you can also, like Chris Stone said, take it to third base within Opus, get it to that point, and then automatically shoot it out to all of the social networks that you're a part of and to where your community is. There's some value into that right there, folks. So
It
check them
is.
out. Yeah.
That's awesome that you've had an opportunity to talk to these guys, man. I think it's
Yeah.
really cool. I like the fact that people in our community actually have contacts with some of these companies that we're talking about all the time. So keep doing that, and listen, throw a contact my way. I would love to have them on the show to talk about it.
I'll make it
We
happen, brother.
use
I'll
their
make it happen.
product so much right now. I think it's really cool. One that I'm using. Let me do this because I already said it. When Mandy Lou talks, man, I listens. Where they are really nice, easy to use, and of course, room for improvement, but it is on the way for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely one of the things that's on the way. I was saying earlier that, if I get 10 and I'm able to use 5 clips, I'm winning.
Yeah.
I'm winning. That's 5 clips I didn't have to do. And the money that it saved me, how much
Crazy.
it costs to get an editor to do 5 1-minute clips? Like, that's
Yeah.
expensive.
It's
It's
expensive.
expensive if I have to do it. It's expensive because of my time. So if I
What's more
can go
important?
and
Your
just
time,
wait,
time and value, right? I mean, there it is right there. You're not gonna get time back. Like I said before,
I'm
you're not
gonna
gonna
get
get
it
that
back.
time back.
I'm
So
gonna get it back. So
consider
so
that.
so what is up with the West Coasters out tonight? Like
Man,
this
we
is
out, man. Listen,
this
we
is
out.
early,
Okay,
what
this
I'm
is what we
saying?
do.
Mr.
We stick
Riley's
together.
world, Mary Lou's on the West Coast. I love it. What's Dillcasters does Opus Pro allow for font and placement adjustment on captions? Beta currently doesn't.
It will.
So it will?
It will.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I have an early build of what is to come, and yeah, Chris, that is. I don't know if that's Chris or Jim, but yeah, that will be part of the GA version. I'm
I
just
l-
dropping. I hope I don't get in trouble for
Oh,
dropping this
you're in
stuff.
trouble now. You just told the world. So if you save time, you save money. Yes, sir, you do. And man, again, another West Coaster. I didn't know
We here.
Dan
I
here was
just
in the
left
West
there.
Coast.
Shouts out
Uh,
to the Gas Lamp District. I was out there. Okay.
That's what's up. It pays for itself when it comes to a one-man production. Yes, when you're able to
Correct.
use AI, it definitely could pay for itself. That whole statement, take all of my money, is so true. Like when you find the right thing that could help you, I just pay for it because the cost of that, again, versus me doing it or hiring an editor, it is so much cheaper. So again, I like it. If I'm able to get 1 or 2 in the 10 minutes it takes to render it, I'm still winning.
Winning.
I'm still
Winning.
winning. That's
And
my
your community
perception.
will
Now,
love it.
somebody would go in there and say, well, it didn't give me 12 videos. I mean, some people could have that attitude. I just have the attitude of, man, if it tells me it's working, I'll send you an email and I can go do something else. It sends me the email and I'm able to go see the score that it gave me along with those clips. And if I need to change the color or change some things, I can do that. But then I can automatically upload one, download the others, and time out when I want those other reels to go up. I am winning.
Yeah. I tell you what, let me add this in because I always like to give folks options.
Yes, sir.
Opus Pro will automatically go in. I'll use my word automatically again. Automatically go in and pull out 10 clips based on the virality score.
Right.
Streamlabs has a tool called CrossClip. You take that whole YouTube watch URL, you plug it into CrossClip. CrossClip will allow you to select up to a 60-second segment of that video. So you make it yourself, right?
Got it.
But with CrossClip, you can do the layout. You can add in different other elements. You can add in multiple cameras. You can do the blurry background. So you can do all the things as well, but you can be more granular and be more more in control of what that actual micro content piece is going to look like. And you can also change the aspect ratio and things of that nature. So Streamlabs has something called CrossClip, which allows you to do similar to Opus, but you do it yourself.
I like that. I haven't heard of that. I did know
Come
that
on, brother.
Streamlabs have something, but I didn't know
I'm
about
coming through
that
with him
one.
tonight, boy. I'm coming through with him tonight.
Yeah. So that's another check mark. Mandy Lou, did you know about that? Like,
I know
I
she
hadn't
know.
heard you talk about that one, Mary Lou. So if she talks about it, I know about it. So there you go. That's really cool. So that's another tool, guys, that you could use if someone out there could do me a quick favor and just put that in the comments so everybody will be able to see it from Streamlabs. It's called Cross Clips.
Yeah.
Okay. If you put that in the comments, I really would appreciate that. And that's some really good stuff you've given us tonight for new content creators. These are some new tech that you could actually use. So here's another one. He says repurposing at its best. Yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to be able to control that. You've given us a lot of tools to kind of help us. We've talked in the beginning about not worrying about the lights, the camera, and all the gear. You really want to go through your workflow to be more efficient with that. Can you still show me your setup? Because you look good over there, man. Like, I'm telling you, that
No
is
worries, no worries.
a beautiful picture over there. Dude, I like it.
Thank you, brother. And it's cross clip, no S for folks there as well. So
I think I said it with an S, so that may have been me.
no worries, no worries. All right, man. Let me see if I can get. Let me make sure I don't have that. Okay, that's not supposed to be. So you see what we got. Shouts out to the Dyson over there running, keeping the air clean in the room. Here we go with camera B. That's the ZVE10 running. I got my lights bouncing.
So we'll talk about this 10 when you come back. I want to talk about that camera. Go right ahead. Keep going.
What you want? About the one in behind the teleprompter? That's the FX30 right there.
Yes. I want to talk about that one too.
That's the B. And then C camera is the which one is that? That's the ZV1F. There, my other Godox bouncing off. What we got here? We got the Rodecaster jumping off. We got Alec Johnson clock.
That's what's up.
We got the Michael Jackson mic SM7B. We got two of the Stream Decks. I got the XL and I got the Plus.
Oh, I hadn't even seen that one. That was good. Is
got
that one monitor?
No, you said this is one monitor. This is that LG Dual Up. I think Doc and I are the only ones who had this, or only ones that have talked about this. So yeah, I'm rocking the Dual Up here, and then I got an LG 32 over here as well. So this is where I keep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on, that's how we get down.
I love it.
Then I got got your iPad action going on over here. I got a laptop. I got my MacBook Pro. Got another system over here. I still got to have a PC for
you got a Dell over there, man. What is that?
I'm multi. I keep it going.
You got to have a PC in your setup. Yeah. I get it. You still have to have one.
Let me spin around, and obviously, you see your boys right there. He published over there. Stay focused on you. That's my journal and planner. Shouts out to Press and Soul for helping me get that syndicated and published out there.
That's awesome, man.
Some more practical lights. What we got here? This my homage to Apple. Here's the original iPhone. The iPhone 2 and then the iPhone 5 over there. The first time they went into the candy bar format. 55 up there on top as a marketing canvas. So I've got various things that'll show up per show on there.
Great logo, by the way.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. And then you see the Ecamm pillow over there, and some more, accessories and things of that going on. So yeah, that's how we get down within here, man.
That is a nice setup.
Got a couple of Elgatos going right here as well to bring a little bit more light underneath. But yeah, that's it, man. And I got my quote from my old boss here. Here's the crazy ones. That's from Steve right there, trying to just put a dent in the universe. Every day I look at that when I step in here, man. Yeah,
I like it. That's having a setup like that and having having your setup done like this has got to be motivating to you.
Yeah.
It's got to be motivating to you. So I think that's really cool, man. I think that's really cool. So FX30 as your main camera, ZV10, and then the F1. Like, these are all new cameras. Like, these are new investments for you.
I was full frame, right? I did have the full frame cameras in here. I had the A7 IV, I had the A7C in here, but glass is expensive for full frame. Gotcha. And these three cameras don't move. So there's no need for me to have a $3,000 camera sitting here collecting, not gonna collect dust, but sitting here stationary 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there are more lens options on the APS-C side. And I appreciate you for giving me, the compliment on that. I can make this image look really clear with an APS-C prime lens because I'm running the 11 millimeter prime right now, open at f1.8. So
that's cool.
So light is coming
30.
in. Yeah, on the FX30 right now. So, and then on the other ones, everything's dialed in and white balance. Everything's dialed in from the exposure and the ISO perspective. So, reading the manual, knowing how to use the tools, you can make a really high quality image and scene from whatever pieces of technology that you have. So yeah, I've gone all APS-C in terms of the cameras, and then I've kind of standardized on Godox for all of my lighting. You saw that the tubes back here, the TL60s, and then the ES45 panels going on up here as well. So yeah, man, it's a work in progress. But right now we had a good point.
That's awesome. I love it. So when you go back and forth, did we speak of this? Yes, we did. We talked about all of this. So this is the same thing when we talked about cameras. Camera Junkie. Am
I in trouble? Okay.
No. Okay. He said the same thing about the full frame and the APS-C being able to use it. So was there any difference for you? Like when you really looked at the footage you were getting from a full frame versus the APS-C? Now I think you look great, but I don't know if I knew what the full frame looked like.
No, there was really, again, since I, like Lewis, know what an f-stop is. I know what an ISO setting is. I know how to white balance. Knowing the equipment, knowing the tools, I could make that camera look as good as this camera. Again, it's just knowing your infrastructure, knowing your tools, and actually taking the time to be a student of your craft. So I was able to make this look as good as that, and I'm not skipping the beat as well. I also took down the overhead. I used to have a what was the Elgato camera, the face cam, their 1080 camera as an overhead, but I don't do unboxing. So I'm clearing out some stuff as well to be a little bit more minimalistic. But what I'm using right now fits the purpose and fits the need for all 4 or 5 of those different shows that I have. I can do multi-camera angles. I can do all kinds of different things, and it comes out pretty good.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's funny, man. Like our personalities inside the Ecamm group, they're all the same. Like we're extremely knowledgeable about what we do, and we educate ourselves even with the ability to do full frame. Like what's the real idea behind this? What's the real idea about my space, what I'm using, how many monitors I have, how much light I have in here. Lighting for us is a really, really big deal, right? We want to be sure that it's done the right way, and you've definitely shared with us today, and I really do appreciate it. The time that you take with us or have took with us. What's a way that people can get connected with you if they want to learn more about James Hicks?
I appreciate that. You can either go to my primary site of hicksnewmedia.com, or my kind of catch-all is jameshicks.link. And jameshicks.link has links to my YouTube channel, has links to my merch store, has links to all the different other aspects, and allowing folks to get on my calendar. All of my affiliate relationships and links are on that as well. So folks can go over there and say, oh, James uses this keyboard, uses this camera, uses this lights. All of that information is there. So either jameshicks.link or hicksnewmedia.com is really where I live online.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so very much, everybody that's been hanging out with us tonight. We do this because of you guys. So the stream show, it continues to go. Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Ecamm Live's YouTube channel. And don't miss a show. I have some super guests lined up, just like every Sunday night. So if you'll come, I promise to give you great content. James, again, thank you, sir, for hanging out with me tonight. And I'm going to do something I haven't did in a long time. I have this here, and for whatever reason, I think I stopped and came back on, and I forgot how to end my show. So let's end it the right way tonight. Hey, this is DJ Strick, and I would like to thank you for watching another edition of The Stream Show.